What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And we are on NBA 2K15, and we are being hosted by the Utah Jazz. Now, I did make a lineup change after the loss to Portland, so I'm gonna see how this lineup works. For a few games, and if this lineup don't work, I'm gonna have to make some more changes. But let's see if we can get a win. Let's get into it. Shaq and Ernie, over to you.
And now, the 2K Sports pregame show, brought to you by Sprite.
Hey, Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal. We welcome you to 2K Sports. And tonight, it'll be the Dallas Mavericks going up against the Utah Jazz at Energy Solutions Arena. For Utah, they come into this game following a loss to the Cavaliers at Quicken Loans Arena. They got caught flat-footed, lost a game they felt should have been theirs. Looking to turn the page here. Hey, Shaq, Utah having some real difficulty putting points on the board. How do you turn things around there?
Ernie, I think they need to make a trade for a true scorer. They need to get scoring inside. Scoring inside is the only way they can climb in the standings.
Thank you, big fella. Now let's get out to Kevin Harlan as we prepare for the tip.
Yeah, you need to start it and you're already sweating.
The Utah Jazz have a Western Conference contest on their hands as they prepare to defend the home court at the Energy Solutions Arena here in downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, been successful with that.
2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan here with me today, Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Let's take a look at Dallas. Still trying to find that groove they had last year. They'd like to grab hold of some new momentum and get closer, Steve, to where they were a season ago.
Seeing where Dallas is, you know, it has not been the kind of season they had mapped out for themselves. Their sights were definitely set a little higher than what they've achieved.
Well, it's not been a total disaster, Clark. They're still perched in a spot where they can make a move, but they're going to have to do so pretty quickly.
Now, a look at Dallas's starting lineup. Dirk and Chandler up front. Fonte is the 2, Parsons playing the small forward. And it's Harris in at the 1 spot.
Alec Burks, really known as a slasher coming into the NBA out of Colorado. His outside shooting was questioned, but he's put in the work. And he's become a solid three-point shooter. He's still young. He's only going to get better and better.
So here's Burks. After Dirk Nowitzki's bucket, Burks dishes to Cantor. Pass to Burke. And it's off the back rim. No good. Here's Dallas. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Blazers.
And I think the sort of issues they had on defense, in part at least, was a bigger factor. Really compounded, I think, because it was on the road. You have to be sharper when you go out and play as a visitor.
Yeah, everything has to be tight. You can't be loose in any aspect of your game. You're fighting against the crowd and the opponent. You've got to be tougher mentally and physically if you're going to win on the road.
Count that one. Burks got his first basket.
Gotta love the finger roll up and over the defense.
Ellis goes in. He kicks it to Nowitzki. Fires from 14. Misses off the right iron. For Utah, they've gone 2 or 3 here to start out the game. The pass to Burks. Looking for Favors. He gets it there. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending call. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
And about 2 minutes played here in the first quarter. Now here is Harris. He's tightly guarded. Nowitzki inside. And he gets the bucket. Nowitzki's got 6 points.
And they're nearly perfect from the floor early on. 4 of their first 5 shots they've drained.
Now here's Guarded by Harris. Free throw line jump shot. That's blocked, but he stays with it. Now here's Burke. Tight defense on him. The shot's good from Cantor.
They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
And that's going to open things up for them on the perimeter going forward, Clark.
The drive by Ellis. Second chance shot. Rebound, Utah. Tough loss coming against Cleveland in their last game played.
And Kevin, when you don't take advantage of your trips to the free throw line, which they definitely did not, it's tough to recover from.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, they left a lot of cheese and lettuce at that foul line.
Not to mention some ham and turkey, but...
And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line. The Jazz shooting their first shots of the night from the charity stripe.
Well, this is a club that shot 75% as a team from the free throw line last season.
And those aren't the kind of numbers they can afford to repeat throughout this season.
And that drops, so they now lead by 1.
Well, Derek Favors still developing offensively. I think he's trying to refine his post game and his shooting touch, but the potential is still there.
Here's Ellis. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. Harris has got 3 assists now in this one. First quarter of action, just under 3.5 minutes played. Burke kicks to Cantor. To the right side. There's the pick. Now here's Burks. He's guarded by Ellis. Shot clock at 3. Offensive rebound. Now here's Burks. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Passes it to Favors. Can't get it to go. Good work defensively by Nowitzki. And for Favors, most of his shots, Clark, coming around the rim.
Yeah, strong offensive rebounder. He can use his imposing physique to overpower a lot of defenders.
Parsons' shot is off. For Utah, they've gone 4 for 9 from the field to start this game off. Novak kicks to Burke. Feeds it to Burks. Inside to Favors. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Derek Favors, a really nice fit in Utah. Tough, has a low-key, low-maintenance personality. Doesn't seem to get bothered by attention and accolades. All he does is...
Yeah, he'll miss all these. If he misses one, it was a foul.
No good on that.
Like I said, ball don't lie.
And Favors last season, guys, signing a 4-year extension with the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, he wanted to stay in Utah, and they've... Certainly been happy to have him. A foundational piece for this team, no question.
Mavericks making a switch here. Brandon Wright's checked in for Chandler. Jefferson comes in for...
Are you going to wait till he gets up to handle the ball?
He's checked in for Monte Ellis. And Nelson is subbed in for Harris.
And he'll miss this one too.
And he can't get the second one.
Ball don't lie.
Coming up empty that time.
Well, the Jazz really struggled last season. Maybe the worst defensive team in the league, and they weren't a lot better offensively. Some of that you have to attribute to you. And quite honestly, it's impressive they were able to win as many games as they did under the circumstances. Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
A short time ago, Quinn Snyder and I were able to chat. He told me that they're ready for an exciting game, going up against a team that's certainly capable of filling it up in a hurry. But he said we can't get so carried away trying to score with them that we get away from playing tough, gritty defense. If you slack off even a little bit, they can really go off. Guys, we'll see if they can strike the right balance and even the series. Back to you.
Okay, Doris, appreciate the report and coach's plan here tonight. A good one, guys.
In theory, yes. I mean, they're up against a team that can put up points in a hurry, so defense has to be a priority. We'll see if they can execute that game plan.
They actually called it.
I mean, this
That's
is
a surprise.
That will test your resolve. You got to stay the course. You can't vacillate much. You're going to have to absorb some body blows if you want to come out on top.
Gobert, he's checked in for Utah. Jeremy Evans comes in for Alec Burks. Jay Crowder's checked in for the Mavericks. And you look at the free throw attempts for the Jazz. Steve, last season, their lowest number in decades.
Well, driving inside and getting to the line, normally a staple for Jazz teams in years past. So you have to think that they're looking to get back to that this season.
Here's Nelson after Dante Exum's bucket. Nelson, the pass to Wright. Puts up the baby hook. Tried to bank it in, but he misses.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the board.
Yeah, and even though it's early, I mean, that's a great sign for them for the rest of the game.
Here's Gobert. Out left to the wing. Here's Hood. Goes up from the top of the key. Goes back up. And he lays it up and in.
They have got to put a body on him, because otherwise, with his agility and athleticism, they're not going to be able to contain him on the offensive glass.
Nelson left side. Battles through traffic and lays it in.
Well, he wasn't fazed at all by the bigger man on him, and on the low block, I thought he might be.
You know, Steve, I thought maybe he'd prefer to bring him out to the perimeter, but whatever works, go to it.
Here's Hood. He's coming off a 19-point game against Cleveland. And Wright pulls it down.
Excellent challenge. He had a hand right in his face as he took that shot.
Yeah, you can see the hitch in his release because of it. It was fantastic defense. Well defended, and he's not someone who responds well to that kind of defensive pressure.
Exum kicks to Hood. Nails the wide-open jump shot. Hood's got his second bucket. Nelson, no one around him. That misses, would have kind of had it gone in. The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Jazz lead by 4. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this.
Tuesday, November 11th, Al Jefferson and the Charlotte Hornets take on LaMarcus Aldridge and the Portland Trailblazers. Be there.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Now let's take a moment to get your guys' take on the scoring so far for the Jazz.
Well, I like the fact they've already been getting a lot of high-quality shots in the paint.
The other thing we've seen right from the start, guys, is their willingness to drive the lane, get penetration, and challenge this defense.
Jazz leading by 4 on the court for the Mavericks. Harris is out there with Ellis. Then it's Brandon Wright. Then there's Al Farouk Aminu. And it's Crowder in at the 4-man position.
The defense was ready for him that time, and they had to be. He is so powerful in the lane.
Jay Crowder, a former second-rounder back in 2012 out of Marquette. Those Golden Eagles churn out some gamers, don't they?
They sure do. You think about Wes Matthews, Jimmy Butler, and Crowder is in that same mold. Strong and rugged, a physical defender, a smart player, and plays with a great motor and enthusiasm.
And Utah has possession. The Mavericks making the shot. They set the pick. Novak with the 3. That's good. Novak's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
Well, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space. And you look at Crowder, a combo forward, muscular frame, built like a tight end. In fact, he played power forward in college, but at 6'6", he's played the 3 in the pro. How about that for a response?
They will say they can give the three as well as they can take the three.
Let's go back to the starters.
Exum kicks to Booker. He feeds it to Nova. Up top, Burke. Pass to Gobert. Up off the screen. It's good. The assist that time from Burke.
And for Crowder, the three-pointer is his main offensive weapon right now. Not
Damn.
out there yet, so you can be certain he'll continue to work on that shot as he feels that 3-and-D niche in the NBA. You can really see an extra bounce in Monte Ellis' step last year, and that bounce had been missing for a little bit. He seemed completely revitalized and got back to what he's doing, what he does best in Dallas, and that's put the ball in the hole and put pressure on the defense.
Here's what Utah's going with right now. Enes Kanter's checked in for Gobert. Favors comes in for Trevor Booker, and Alec Burks subbed in for Exum. Then for the Mavericks, Tyson Chandler is checked in for Wright. Nowitzki comes in for Crowder, and Chandler Parsons in for Al-Farouq Aminu. Now Burks looking for his first basket still in this one. Novak kicks to Burks and stolen by Parsons. Here's Ellis, and that one is hammered home.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to
That
the
rim is still bent.
No time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game. Itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
So here's Burks following the score by Dallas. 6 on the shot clock. And Utah again with the bucket. And with Monte, he was very open to admit that he was having fun again, saying it was the most fun he's had in the NBA, Steve, since the 2007 season.
I thought it was the perfect fit for him, playing alongside Dirk and Calderon, playing for a great coach in Rick Carlisle, who put him in spots where he could really make the most of his talent. So a terrific season for Monte. I was happy for him. But he looks like he wants to toy around with some of their sets and matchups here.
You know, I don't think you can afford to go through a whole game doing the same thing over and over, and you have to be able to adjust on the fly, just like he's doing here.
With this stoppage in play, we have a chance now to show you which teams led the league in three-point percentage last year. Second, the Mavericks.
Seemed like they went through stretches, guys, where they just didn't miss from beyond the arc, and that carried those numbers right up to the top of the list.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Hi, Kevin. Well, it's been a great pairing in Dallas between Monte Ellis and Dirk Nowitzki. As Dirk said, he's been amazing for us. He's so athletic, so fast. I knew he could score with the best of them, but the
Come on.
is his playmaking off the pick-and-roll game. He makes my game a lot easier. Kevin, they make a great tandem.
Yeah, working together, they're a nightmare to defend, Doris. Thank you. There's the screen. Now, here's Burks. He's tightly guarded. Chandler with the steal. Kicks it to Nowitzki. Pulls up on the wing. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. 8 points for Nowitzki.
Great-looking bounce pass to set up that play.
The Jazz have gone 4 of 6 in the field here in the second. And a first time out of the game called for Utah.
One thing you know when it comes to the Mavericks is they're not going to sit back and stand pat. They want to reload, not rebuild it.
Here is Novak. Kanter in the corner. Burks kicks to Novak. He dishes it to Burks. Looking for Favors. He gets it there. Nice D from Chandler. Well, guys, the Mavericks have made the most out of this run since they've had Dirk Nowitzki. A strong team for so long because they never tore it down.
And there were times they could have. I mean, you have to respect that mentality that, you know, they've maintained their unity, their continuity. And as long as you have Dirk, you know you can put pieces around him to be competitive. That's what the Mavs have always done.
And so it's Utah here with the ball, following Monte Ellis's three. Here's Cantor. There's the triple. And there's Burke. That's good on the assist from Enes Kanter. Burke's got 5 points so far. The Mavericks have gone 5 of 6 so far from the field in the second quarter. Ellis dishes to Nowitzki. And Dallas again with the bucket.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
It's just beautiful basketball to watch, Clark.
Here is Novak. Dishes it to Favors. All alone. And there's another one for the Jazz.
Good ball movement. He put that pass in the ideal spot, right where it needed to be.
Dallas calls timeout. Last time they met was in Dallas.
You know, so often in the NBA we talk about how you have to earn your points the hard way, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Everything came pretty easily.
Too many of their points came the easy way, Steve. You're right. On dunks and layups against a defense that didn't really put up much resistance.
Both teams deciding to change it up.
Well, let's take a look at last year's Dallas Mavericks and where they ranked in the NBA. Second in three-point field goal percentage. Third in free throw percentage. And they were ranked third in taking care of the ball. This team does not commit turnovers at a high rate. Very impressive.
And how about the spacing that we saw from this team last year, Clark? You mentioned the three-point shooting in the top 5 in terms of field goal percentage from long range. And I think it was a direct result of great unselfish play. And it helps when you can employ that inside-out game. You know, attack a team in the paint and then kick it out for that three-point shot.
Now, here is Nelson. Parsons outside. Shot on the wing. Rebounded by Hood.
And a missed opportunity right there.
Definitely. I think he should have converted that one. Chandler Parsons, until recently, had been one of the league's great bargains on his second-round contract. He found a way.
I'm glad he's hurt.
Earnings, though. He did some modeling for a designer clothing company. Caught some locker room grief for it, but hey, it's good work if you can get it, and I'm sure those checks kept him from being too offended by the locker room banner.
Well, the grimace of pain tells it all. He's hurt, and let's hope he's okay.
And you see a player have to come out of the game like this. I mean, you just hope for the best.
That's exactly right. You do hope for the best. You cross your fingers, say a prayer, and hope it's nothing major. We'll see what the update is here shortly.
Here's Booker, covered by Parsons. Here's Burke. Pass to Hood. The dish to Exum. Here's Hood. And it's Exum in the corner. Out to the right wing. Another shot. And Hood with the nice bucket inside. Now it's a 4-point Utah lead. And you guys were talking about Parsons' appearance. He cut his hair off last season as a show of solidarity with a 10-year-old he'd met who was battling cancer. What a generous gesture, a great gesture, Steve, on his part.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the two had formed a bond and both drew inspiration from each other. You love to see it, and Parsons showing not only, you know, that he's an effective player on the court, but definitely an inspiration in his community as well.
Here's Booker. 17-foot shot on the way.
He thought he could knock that one down, but the defense was really all over him.
Second quarter ends in a tight one. Jazz out in front, up 4. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Jameer, looking back at this first half of play, what sorts of things need to happen for you guys in the second half?
Well, we need to get stops. The first team that gets stops puts together some strings on the defensive end. I think we'll win the game. And, you know, we have to take more pride in things we're doing. We're doing some things differently, but I think we can play a little harder, actually a lot harder on defense.
Jameer, thank you. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Doris, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back in there for the start of the third quarter after this break. Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far.
Ellis having a terrific game. He has 12 points, and he's picked up 6 points from behind the arc.
Now, his outside stroke has looked really good today.
Here's Burke. Well, the Jazz are two young, talented big men in Derek Favors and Enes Kanter. The question has been, can they play together?
I think you got to give it more time to see if, in fact, they can play together. Because ideally, they would be a formidable duo, particularly at the defensive end and on the glass. And you don't want to give up on that possibility at this point in time. In today's NBA, you got to have some spacing to be effective. So you've got to add some shooting if those two guys are going to be effective together.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. And so in the game for the Jazz, Favors plays the 4 with Kanter at the 5. Burke and Exum make the backcourt. And it's Novak in at the 3 spot. A chance here to get a quick injury report. Now let's check in with Doris Burke to see how Alec Burks is doing. Doris?
Kev, I caught up with the head athletic trainer for Utah. The news is serious and scary. He told me it's a torn Achilles tendon. That's a bitter pill for them to swallow at such an early stage of the season. It really changes the look of this entire team, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Boy, you always hate to see anyone ever deal with any sort of injury.
Yeah, but it's part of the game, Kevin. Almost everybody goes through it eventually as a player, so you just have to deal with it the best you can.
Unfortunately, it is that, Steve, and it's painful to watch your teammates out there because you're helpless in that situation.
And guys, Enes Kanter, coming into the NBA as a player who could score inside and out, he's still looking for consistency in his jump shot. If he can hit the mid-range jumper consistently, that should help him and Favors share time on the court.
Ellis goes in. Parsons outside. The 3. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. Ellis has got 4 assists now tonight.
They're still perfect here in the second half. 4 for 4 from the field.
Utah calls timeout. The Mavs have fallen back, Steve, in the West the last few years, but they were very much in the hunt this past season.
Well, they were in a battle for the final playoff spot in the West, and then they ended up in the 8th
Oh
spot.
my God, man.
All the way to 7 games, so they did extremely well given the strength of the conference.
White, he's checked in for Dallas. The shot's good from Kanter. Kanter's got 10 points.
They're rolling now. 5 straight hoops to start this quarter.
Harris passes to Nowitzki. Again, the Mavericks score.
You know, for the Mavs against the West, it was really about them hitting their shots, and they're a very good shooting team, especially when they played against Western Conference opponents.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, Quinn Snyder this season taking over as head coach of the Utah Jazz. Snyder said the fit is terrific. He loves player development. Certainly a nice compliment to this young roster. Snyder's road in the coaching ranks has been a winding one, but he said the adversity he's faced has made him a better coach and a better person. Gentlemen,
his time has come, Doris. All the makings of a great coach. Thank you. Utah leading by 3.
Well, to back up what you talked about with the Mavs shooting, I mean, they were one of the best shooting percentage teams in the league, and they did a lot of their damage against the Western Conference, which, as we all know, is the much deeper conference.
What a great start to the second half. They still haven't missed a field goal.
Harris.
Foul!
Jazz have gone a perfect 7 of 7 from the field here in the third, coming out of the break very hot. And that one's good. Burke's got the lead up to 7 now for the Jazz.
Man, great ball movement. They're just picking this defense apart with their passing.
Well, how about the 3 P's, Steve? Purposeful, precise, passing. We love it, and so does this team because they're taking advantage of it.
Gobert, he's checked in for Cantor. And Dallas with a change here, too. Aminu's checked in. For Utah, they've gone an unbelievable 8 of 8 shooting since halftime. Must have been some kind of pep talk in that locker room.
The Jazz weren't good at home last year, but they certainly weren't the worst. The grit of the franchise still showed up last season when they played in this building.
You know, this building can really energize this team with its noise. Jazz only got 16 home wins last year, but you wouldn't know it by how loud it was at times in here.
Well, there is a very real us against them mentality that the Jazz have, and I think, Steve, it stems from their fans.
I would agree with that, and it's why over the past few decades the Jazz have been so good at home as a franchise.
Utah leading by 9. Novak kicks to Gobert. Now here's Burke. He's guarded by Ellis. Exum sets a screen for Burke. 4 on the clock. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. Mavericks trail by 9. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
I got to find something. You're right. And that one's good. Ellis.
How huge has he been, giving his team the lift?
Without his work offensively, Steve, I don't know where they'd be. Shooting at great efficiency. I don't think they'd have a chance without him.
Fires from deep. Utah with the rebound. Favors has got 6 rebounds now in the game. From 11 feet away, and good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
Just putting on a passing display out there.
Well, just add another fantastic assist to the highlight reel for this guy.
Harris dishes to right, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one.
Now y'all want to start calling fouls.
Clark, you know this, it looked like at times, and they didn't finish where they wanted to, but the Mavs did sneak into the postseason last year with a very strong push.
And they took the Spurs to 7 games in that first round. A tough schedule for them at the end of the season, but they fought through it and got back to the playoffs. Very impressive.
Trevor Booker, he's checked in now for Utah. Hood comes in for Trey Burke. Gobert, the pass to Exum. Nice ball movement by Utah. And Gobert kicks to Hood. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Hood's got 8.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
Love it. Old school. Just physical play in the paint. Dominate.
Now here is Harris. Left side Harris. It's Ellis on the wing. It's good, and the Jazz lose, cut to just 7 on the basket from Harris.
Fantastic pass. He turned that one into a pretty easy basket for his teammate.
Hood, the pass to Exum. 56 seconds left in the third quarter. Novak kicks to Booker. Here's Gobert, and the shot counts. He's fouled. It's a chance for a 3-point play.
I think the lead they've built here, guys, is in large part due to what they've done on the boards.
Absolutely. I mean, they have a +10 advantage in rebounds, and they've been in total control of the backboard.
The Jazz making a switch here. Evans is checked in, and the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Tyson Chandler, who's checked in for Wright. Jefferson comes in for Parsons. Raymond Felton, he's checked in for Ellis. And Nelson is subbed in for Harris. And here's Exum, after Richard Jefferson just hit the 3. Exum dishes to Gobert. Exum passes to Hood. Evans kicks to Exum. Tried to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Felton with the ball. Outside Jefferson. The tray. Rebound Utah. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Detroit, where they'll face the Pistons. That sets off a 5-game tour for them.
Yeah, a lot of fans focused on that matchup for Detroit. Beautiful work in the transition game.
That's how to do it. Attack early before the defense can get itself set.
Shots continuing to fall as we conclude the third quarter. Both teams putting up points. Jazz lead by 9. And we're coming right back after this break to get the fourth quarter underway.
Next Tuesday night, November 11th, Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs go up against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Live from Oakland, it's the real deal.
How about a look at today's State Farm assist of the game?
Don't care.
Yeah, let's do it. I love the way this play developed. I think this offense really thrives off of plays like that. Turned it into an easy basket.
On the floor for Dallas starting the fourth quarter here. Dirk and Chandler up front. Felton is out there at Jameer Nelson. And it's Jefferson in at the small forward.
That's been a great day for him. And if you remember, he gave them a huge performance their last time out as well.
Exum with it. Jefferson picks him up. That's good. And the Jazz lead by 9.
And now both of these clubs really in a groove here.
Already a high-scoring game, but it has become an offensive showcase down the stretch.
And the shot is good.
Well, you know, he has shot the ball well, but it has not been contagious. And his teammates, they haven't had the same groove, and that's why we're looking for this result.
And nobody's playing defense. You know what? Starters. Ain't got time to play. Ain't got time to wait.
And that is outstanding attacking basketball.
Well, he had no choice but to take that one to the bucket.
Nowitzki. Here's Chandler. Nice work on the board. He's paying off with the basket.
The defense has not been able to keep the ball out of the paint at that end of the floor.
Boy, I'd like to know how many of their attempts have come from inside 5 feet. It seems like everything is right at the rim.
Burke dishes to Booker. And there's the feed to Evans. Inside. Here's Cantor. Mavericks with the rebound. Nowitzki's got his third rebound tonight. Nelson with it. Now defended by Exum. Now running up the court. Evans trying to push it up. The baseline J. Exum's shot is off. Mavericks trail by 7. Chandler outside. Outside Felton. Three-pointer. The shot will not go. For Utah, they've gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. There's a screen. Exum's shot is off.
I'll tell you, the defense was right there, just waiting, doing a nice job of anticipating that play.
Steve, every team needs tough interior defense to be successful.
Jazz leading by 7. He kicks to Burke. Exum passes to Cantor. And the shot is good.
Another good pass, and their offensive execution has been impressive, to say the least.
The last 4 field goals have been assisted. Yeah, passing has kept the defense off balance, but to get assists, you got to make the shots.
Both teams will make substitutions. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Rick Carlisle was going over with his team in that last huddle. He told them that they simply have to step up, saying if we don't make a move now, it's going to be too late. Give them everything you've got. Kevin?
Thank you, Doris. Now, here's Burke, guarded by Harris. A 3-ball. And the rebound goes to Nowitzki. Nowitzki's got his 4th rebound in this one.
Well, he did have a 3-pointer in the first half, but so far here in the second, he's come up empty.
And here is Burke. And the pass to Cantor. Feeds to Fakers. Exum kicks to Burke. 5 on the clock. Fires from deep. It's rebounded by Dallas.
Well, his shot's been off today, no question. He's not the guy they're going to want to look to if they want to keep this lead where it is.
Here's Nowitzki. Drops it in from 14 feet away. And now it's just a 4-point Utah lead. Utah has gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Pass to Novak. He feeds it to Burke. They set the screen. 6 to shoot. Here's Novak. Chandler with the rebound. Chandler's got rebound number 8 now on the night. Ellis kicks to Nowitzki. A fader. And it's Dallas with another.
How about raising his game here in the fourth quarter? Missing just one of his 5 attempts so far.
And the Jazz call time here. And at this point of the game, getting a break here, important for the teams to regroup. And for the players, this is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with Gatorade. Get ready to play strong to finish off the game. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Quinn Snyder was going over with his team. He told his guys to make sure they keep the pace fast, to get out and run each and every chance they get. He also wants them to concentrate on working as a team at the offensive end. Passing, patience, and teamwork. Those were the messages. Gentlemen, some late game adjustments that could prove crucial in the game's closing moments. Kevin, over to you.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Now here is Harris. He's covered closely. It's deflected. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. That's on Ennis Cantor. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Jazz?
Anytime you get as many points in the paint as they have, you know you've got a good thing going, and you just want to keep it going.
And that's helped with their passing game, too, because they're getting a lot of assists by sharing the ball and moving it. They're still right in this thing, but missing the free throw keeps them in a 2-possession deficit.
They set the pick. Pass to Burke. Rebounded by Devin Harris. Mavericks trail by 4. Kicks to Parsons. Back to Harris. Lets it go from deep. The shot misses.
Come on!
It's all the other way. They've led by as much as 10.
They definitely had the advantage inside. Another big grab a moment ago.
1:25 left here in the fourth quarter. Here's Burke. Loses his man.
Oh my God.
Brings it up and in. And the Jazz lead by 6. Mavericks have gone 6 of 11 since the start of the fourth quarter. Here's Nowitzki. It's the outside fadeaway. Nowitzki's got 24 points.
He's really stepped it up this quarter. Looks like he's determined to get them out of this hole all by himself.
Garrett Felix is checked in for action. Here's Felix. Here's Burke. Chandler with the rebound.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
Nowitzki left side. Fade away. Money! And he has brought them to within 2 points.
Just one shot hasn't tickled the twine here in the fourth, and he's taken this game over.
Guys are not going to be in any rush on this possession.
Not with the lead. I mean, now's the time to use the clock to your advantage. Take your time. Milk the clock a little bit.
Now, here's Burke. Guarded by Harris. Felix kicks to Burke. It falls!
Ooh, a pressure basket right there.
Now that's coming through in the clutch.
Not much time to work with. They need a basket here.
Yep, they've got to get a steal or foul to stop the clock.
And they commit an intentional foul. See another one of those so they can get into the penalty.
Well, you do what you have to do to extend this game and try to get the ball back.
In this situation, clock management crucial.
And an intentional foul right there. Good on the first, and that puts them up by 5. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
Good work at the line to stretch that lead out a little bit.
Dallas calls timeout. They're trailing by 6. 16 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
Well, there's a little bit of time here to play with, so a 3 and a quick foul could make things interesting.
Very much so. Either way you cut it, they're going to need a pair of threes and some help at the other end as well.
And that's an intentional foul. He drops the first one, and that makes it a 7-point lead. So both teams changing it up here. So it gets them both, and it's an 8-point game. Dallas calls timeout. They trail by 8. 6 seconds left in the game. Belton inside the three-point line. They grab their own miss. And out of bounds as Utah gains possession. And so it's Utah with the win. Both teams played well, but these guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
No, they weren't.
And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, Derek, first off, congratulations on a very well-played game. It looked like you were having a ton of fun out there.
Oh, it's fun, man. It's always fun to win. I'm just coming out here playing my game. Rebound and defense, that's my game. And coach trusts me, so I feel them down.
Know your role. It's always good advice, Derek. Thanks for the time. Guys, over to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. Now, our Jordan player of the game, Trey Burke.
I don't care. We're taking on the Heat the next game. See y'all next time.